everybody, Pat Huntoon here from Technique Junkies, and today I'm going to be showing you how to use a stencil on a colored piece of paper with some blending brushes and some inks to create a really pretty colorful background that is great for anything. So I'm going to be using a lot of fun tools, so bear with me here. Some it's going to be fast, some of it's going to be in real time. So let's get started. So first thing I'm using is this peacock feather stencil from A Colorful Life Designs. It's peacock and it's got these beautiful feathers on it. It's a large format. And we're going to be using pixie spray on this so that we can hold it down nice and firmly to our cardstock. Okay, so this is Pixie Spray. Pixie Spray is a low-tech adhesive that is repositional. So you can use it a couple of times on your stencils to hold down your stencils to your paper, and it works great. So I'm actually going to spray this into my garbage can. It does not have a smell to it, but you should work in a ventilated area. So give me a second. Okay, so the Pixie Spray says to spray from 12 inches in a ventilated area and let sit for 1 minute, which is what I did. So this has been sitting for a minute, so I'm just going to lay this down on top of my cardstock, and it's just going to hold down nice and firm. No little parts are up. I'm just going to press it down gently, and then I'm going to be using two colors here. I'm going to be using Aladdin Eye Zinc Ocean, Aladdin Dye Eye Zinc Menthe. So I'm going to be using our blending brushes. Best way to use the blending brush, put your fingertip on top so that you can hold it firm. Rub it into your ink. Don't be afraid. You're not going to ruin your ink pad. If you have a good ink pad, you're not going to ruin your ink pad. So I'm just rubbing it in there, picking up the ink. And then I'm just going to rub in circular motions over the stencil, over the paper. So I'm using two colors here because I want to get a little bit of a little tiny ombre look here, but I'm using a lighter touch than I might if I was just coloring the whole bottom with ink, because I want to have this be a subtle background. I don't want it to be so bold and in your face, especially with this green, because it's such a bright green. So I'm just going over it nice and lightly, about halfway up. I didn't measure this cardstock, but it looks like it is more than A2, so I just want to make sure that I get the center portion especially. And now I'm going to be using the ocean, same thing. Oh, there's some glitter on my ink pad. I must have been doing something fun last time. And I'm just going to be putting that ocean on. I'm blending in the center and working my way out. See how nice and lightly I'm putting that on? I'm not putting it on super heavy. I want it to be a nice light background. So again, if you put your fingertip on top of your blending brush, it gives you most control, and just hold the handle lightly in your hand. They're very comfortable to hold on to. These look like, somebody pointed out to me that these look like foam, but they're not. They're bristles. See the bristles? Nice soft bristles. They're meant to blend ink, so they're meant for blending. So we're just going to put that on. And I'm going to peel that off. Ready? Just close my ink up, put that aside, and look at that. Isn't that pretty? Oh, just so pretty. So the peacock feather is in the lighter blue where I didn't push ink through, and everywhere else has the two colors of ink. So we're going to set this piece aside, and we're going to be coloring our main piece. So what we're using today is this stamp. SD 929 Live in Color, and it says life is art, live yours in color. I love this. I decided to use the Memento Gray Flannel. I think it's a nice versatile ink, and it's not quite as black as black. So I'm going to rub this on my stamp and use my Misty to stamp it. Oh, look at that. Perfect. And I'm going to actually color this using the Kaiser Craft glitter gel pens. These gel pens are really amazing, and for $10 you get 12 pens. You really can't beat that. My green one is somewhere on my desk, so we're not going to be using green this time around, but we will use the other colors. So very fine point, and you can just color, and every stroke you put down puts down pretty little color. Okay, so I'm just going to put this here and there on here. This is almost like a Zen stamp. It's got the same idea. So what I'm going to do is speed this up so you don't have to watch this in real time. Okay, so I've colored that. What I want to do though is add a little bit more color to this. So I'm just going to trace over the words art, and I'm going to trace over the word color in purple, and this piece will be done. I'll cut it down. All right, so I hold this piece up so that you can see all the pretty glitter on there. It's just subtly, beautifully glittered, and I don't know if you're catching that with the light, but it is really pretty little glitter. They write very smoothly. Everybody who tries these just loves these little pens. And for $9.99, you just can't go wrong. A little carrying case. So these also come in metallic, glitter, pastel, which writes gorgeous on black, and neon. And you can also get them in a big case, just as a little aside on those. So I'll cut this down and put the card together, and we'll be all set. Okay, so my pieces are cut down, and I could just leave them like that, but I think what I'm going to do is take a Nouveau glitter marker. This is one of the blues, Athenian blue. It comes as a single, or you can buy it in a 3-pack. But what I'm going to do is just trace along the edge of this. Make this very simple. Trace along the edge. Can you see how glittery that is, that edge? Very pretty. And I'm going to use that as my pop of color along the edge here rather than using paper, because why not use glitter? So I'm using a very steady hand. It's not hard to do if you have your pen, your marker partially on the paper and partially on the piece that you're coloring. It will turn out perfect. It's a small little border, but can you see how pretty that is? And we're just going to be putting it down on here. And I think I might edge this one too. So now that has a pretty little edge on it, and just take a base and fold it, put it down. I think if I did it again, I might use pink back here, but I like the green. And it just took me a couple minutes to make the card. Very easy with the stencil and the blending brushes and the pretty little glitter pens. So I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. If you did, please give me a thumbs up on YouTube and consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. And I'll see you next week with a new tutorial. Thanks a lot for watching.